Who's ready for a show? I don't have a camera. I need to get a camera. Should I get a camera? Oh, there we go. Yeah. What day's today? Monday? It's gonna get weird. Excuse me. Gonna get weird today. Where's the scene select? Whoa, there it is. All right. What's up, everybody? It's Monday, the 2nd of December, 2019. Good to be here. Glad to be here on the show today. See all your bright and shiny smiling faces. What's this thing doing? It's telling me to become... Am I supposed to become a patron of my own Patreon page? What are you doing, computer? Copy. All right, there we go. We've got it. Control V, paste. Boom. There we go. Okay, I've done my little advertisement for the day. The screen is like super big. What screen am I on right now? Get smaller. Get smaller. There we go. Now I can read it. All right, what's up, everybody? We got some good things going on in the office here today. I'm happy to be all up in this. Let me see. John Ward, wow, caught up on, or actually caught one at the start. Evening, everybody. Good to see you, John. Who said I'm supposed to get on the Sony bandwagon? Chad Krotz says I'm supposed to get on the Sony bandwagon. No, thank you. I do not want to get onto the Sony bandwagon. I'm assuming that you're speaking of camera stuff. Nope, I am pretty firmly entrenched in the Canon, world. I shoot most of my stuff on the Canon RP and the Canon R now. And I have to admit, after the firmware updates and all that stuff, the Canon R is pretty much every camera I've ever wanted. It does all of the things I want it to do. It shoots video in C-Log. Megapixels, who cares? It has a lot. It shoots 1080p, which is awesome video. And you could shoot tons of photos with it for forever. It focuses, lock on, has a flippy screen, has a touch screen, has all the stuff you could ever want out of a camera. Even my old 6D Mark II does all that, right? It did all that. Sony still doesn't even have a usable screen. I'll be honest with you guys, like, if I was on full-on big-time production and they had, like, Arri Alexas or Sony F7s or whatever, or any of that kind of stuff, they all shoot the way you want. So do what you like as far as cameras go. I'm into the Canons. I like it. They work out pretty well. I have collected some of the lenses that I like over the years now. And yeah, and then other than that, get yourself one of these. It's an Osmo Pocket Action. And that's what you really need. I like the Osmo Action a lot better than the GoPro. Yeah, definitely use this for a lot of stuff nowadays too. So that's my workflow, and I don't think I'm going to switch thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars at this point, because I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to just suddenly switch over to Sony. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing that. But I have to admit, the EOS R is pretty much any camera I would advise anybody out there, if you want to start making videos or taking pictures, buy that camera. If you're looking for a more budget version, get the 6D Mark II, which is this camera right here. Go that route. It's gonna work out probably better for you in the long run, I think, personally. But that's a personal opinion. right? So opinions are like anything, and some people have used Sonys their whole lives, and they love them, and that's what they like to do. So I've used Canons forever, and I like to use Canons, and they're just much more usable. I've tried out the Sonys, gone down to the store, played with them, tried them out, and I didn't like them. But Dom was first to the chat. Dom1042. Good to see you. Ricardo Santiago was second, and Jen Raffaelli. Rumbust was here, but then he went good night, so we didn't get that. He had to leave. I see Bentley Pasco. Sorry, I always say Pascal, and that's not right. It's Pasco. Reavers here, Sebastian, a bunch of people in the chat. You guys could read the chat. You guys have it on your phone, or your computer or whatever. You guys can read it. What's up, everybody? Kathy. Laura says, I heard there's a herd of platies squirming around me, looking at me like food, feed us pretty please. Yeah, I would admit that is, that's realistically was always my issue with platies, is that they were always eating and breeding. But I do have some new additions to the fish room. I got some tiger endlers, which I'm pretty excited for. I'm letting them grow, and then I'll probably make some videos about them once they start breeding like crazy, Rockford Fish Keeping says, I'm updating the fish YouTube streamers TV guide. I have you down for 5 to 6 p.m. CDT on Mondays and 5 to 6 on Fridays. Is that correct? No. Mondays I go live Pacific Standard Time at 3 o'clock, and then Fridays I go live whenever. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Just subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you'll know. I'd love to be able to give people an answer of exactly when everything is going to be live all of the time, but I can't do that. I used to go live 3 days a week, but we have had to work. So we have to do work to make money so that we can make YouTube videos. So I'm not able to do the middle of the week anymore. I would like to bring those back at some point in time, but hey, every time I do the math on how many YouTube videos I can do and how much working out in the field I got to do, so I'll spin over to Patreon, which is right here. If anybody's confused as to what it is, there's a link to it. And I swear every time, it's not true. I'm over-exaggerating, but I swear every time I go over there, it seems to go down. So, hey, what are you going to do? It means I got to work more. It means I got to book more jobs and go do that stuff instead. I would love to be just doing fish tank videos for you guys full time, but I just have never been able to hit that point. I've never been that popular on YouTube, and I've never been able to crowdsource enough to be like F off to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, maybe someday, but that day is not today. But I'm thinking that we're probably going to be going earlier on Fridays because, let me see if I can't, hold on, let me see if I can screen capture this. So, maybe I can just screen capture this portion. Yeah, that'll probably be okay. So, I need to get the controller. And then I got to go add source, screen capture, smart selection, and then I can go like this. Here we go. Excuse me. I was on a conference call earlier, and I was talking. Let me put it over here. And then we have to go exclusive capture. So let me get my arrow. Oh, it's always such a good time to be able to get my arrow out. Boom! Oh, it's a swoopy. It's the swoopy arrow. Oh, it's swooping the wrong way, guys. Now I got to turn it around. Layout. Let's turn it upside down, and then let's turn it this way. Yeah. Cool. That's cool. Look at that arrow. Oh, no, it's not in front. Okay. Now I got to move it in front. There we go. All right. it's got a shadow effect on it that's like going the wrong way. Like it's going down. Whatever. So here is the analytical advice from times on Fridays. As you can see, this line right here is 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that is a red broadcast, a red broadcast, a red one, a red one, a red one. Oh, an orange. An orange and a red. But as you can see, and I have more months of data of this, but as you can see, this earlier time block between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. is all, yeah, do that, right? So, we're most likely going to be going earlier on Fridays. And I think this Friday will be the first one that we be going earlier again with Alyssa. So I think we're going to be going early with Alyssa, and we're going to be going early on Friday, which is always good because the analytics say so. Or look at this little outlier down here, which is midnight. Is that midnight? No, that's let me see. 10 p.m. Sorry, that's 10 p.m. right there. And we can't have that. We can't be doing anything at 10 p.m. because I have to be asleep because this little baby right here is going to be up at 4 in the morning. This baby will be awake, so we can't be doing that because I have to be laying in bed with my eyes closed, acting like I'm asleep. So, Alyssa will be here on Friday, and this should be an early show. I don't know what time we're going to do it, but we're going to definitely figure that out. Secret History Living in Your Aquarium is asking, did you order any fish, plants, animals, or hardscape over the Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend? Yes. Yes, I did. I ordered some hardscape. And I won't be telling y'all what that is because I don't have it yet. But when I get it, I will tell you all about it. For sure. Yeah. But yes, I did order some hardscape rocks, to be specific. Some specific rocks I've been looking for. And we'll see how they come in. And, sometimes I do an unboxing like on the live stream. Sometimes I'll do like here's me opening a box, breaking out some plants or whatever, which I have a ton of those videos recorded right now from some specifically weird plants that I got in. Some did good, some did poorly, but we're waiting on the how did they grow in, right? So we're waiting a couple of weeks, and then we'll be able to film those, how they've grown in over the last couple of weeks, and then you guys will be able to check those videos out on some new plants that I got in that are, I wouldn't necessarily say that they're like super rare or anything, but most of the companies don't carry them. So that is kind of the cool thing with a lot of those plants. Let me see what we got. Got 2 betas this weekend. My son bought me one. That's right, Jessica. And we have your posts from the Patreon page. From the Patreon page, right? Which is going to be the only way that you guys can support this show fairly soon, starting at the end of the year. That's going to be the only way that you guys can support the show. I guess you could super chat or buy stuff on Amazon, but it just seems to me like the Amazon thing is either too confusing for people or they don't remember or whatever. So I don't know if I'm going to continue doing that. I guess it is kind of like a passive thing, but so Bentley and I were talking about it on his show over the weekend that like the affiliate sponsorship with Aquarium Co-op will be going away at the end of the year. And then, there is membership on YouTube. You guys could do that too if that's the way you want to do it. But I'm thinking I might get rid of the Amazon stuff too. Although I'm undecided. I'm flipping a coin to see whether or not I'm going to get rid of the Amazon. I think a big part of that is I don't know that I really feel like I need to support Amazon in any kind of function, right? Like, I don't know. I think I might just swap that out for, I might end up just swapping out all of the Amazon links for like a donation program link instead, because I'm gonna have to go through like 1,000 videos up that all have a bunch of the wrong links on them and stuff. And we're gonna have to go back and swap all those out. So I'm thinking I might just take down all the Amazon stuff too and swap that out for just like a charity or something. I don't know. I'm undecided, but we'll figure it out. I'm sort of flipping a coin right now about the Amazon stuff. Jamie McDonald says, what's going on with the memberships? Memberships will continue going on YouTube as far as I know. I don't know. It seems to me that like Google has gotten super pissed off and decided to put a paywall into YouTube, which I'm sort of, it's benefited me because we have, oh, hold on. I don't want to accidentally quote the wrong amount of memberships because that changes a lot also. Let me get this slowly opens. We have to go to YouTube Studio. I'd closed all my YouTube tabs that were open. Let me see here. Then we go there. Then we go to memberships. 74 people are on the memberships. As I mentioned last week, I added some of the tiers to the memberships, which I think pissed off a lot of people. I don't know if there's another reason why people like stopped being members, but it seemed to coincide one with the other. That like I think I added those tiers and it probably sent out a notification maybe or something. I don't know, but seemed to me that like it had irritated some people, and they decided to not be members anymore. So, but the thing is that like I feel like having been on YouTube for over 10, 11 years, something like that, it feels kind of weird to me that like YouTube has decided to put in the membership paywall thing, and I don't know. I'm still kind of torn how I feel about the whole membership thing. Even though it has benefited me, and I really appreciate the people that have become members, because it's way more than anybody could ever do with just like watching a video or whatever. So that's really cool. But I also feel like, YouTube has almost always been free for everybody, and then they just keep adding in these incremental charges and stuff. And it seems like with like Disney Plus and like, and then now there's like Netflix, and then now there's Mixer, and then there's Twitch, and there's just like all these crazy places where everybody is having to go. And now there's like paywalls to everything. And, it's just kind of weird. It's just kind of weird that there's just like paywalls everywhere and everybody's got to be all done. Reaver says end of the month and people may be short on funds this time of year. Yeah, actually that's kind of true. It probably just has something to do with people getting ready for Christmas. It seems to be the other side of the like what most people said. Joshua G says this is the best. Well, thank you. Dr. Black is here. I gotta see if I can make another Dr. Black show one of these days. It's a hootenanny. I like his live stream. It's pretty funny. 54 Punchies, a reminder of the Aquarium Co-op last day of Black Friday sale. Use the link to, it's an affiliate link, so be aware that we do get a kickback if you guys go through there and buy anything, so be aware of that. It doesn't cost you any more, but things are on sale right now. Although I don't know the code, if there is, maybe there isn't a code. I think I saw an email that said that there wasn't any code. JH Aquatics says, Joel, do you sell any fish for profit? Not on purpose. That is not my purpose. Sometimes I sell fish, but I can't remember a time when it was that I sold fish. Because I mostly just give them away for free now. Actually, let me come to think of it. I don't think I've sold a fish since I lived in this house. So, at least 2 years. at least 2 years since I've sold a fish. So no. But as you guys know, I did sell shrimp for a long time. But that was, before I moved here, because when I moved here, I went to move my shrimp colony, and the bucket got boiled by, I wouldn't even say a malfunctioning heater. I think it was just an oversized heater for a 5-gallon bucket sitting on the cold floor of a garage, which I think typically I would be smart enough to not do that. But I think in the frenzy of loading the truck and moving everything in and out all over the place, it just, I ended up letting him sit on the ground with the heater in there, and I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Came down, took a nap, went back up with the family semi truck. Vicky's dad has a giant semi, so we basically were using that to move, and drove that thing down here, went to sleep, unloaded it, went to sleep, was driving back up in my truck to go pick up my shrimp and stuff, like the remaining fish room stuff. And by the time I got there, it wasn't even 3 or 4 hours. They just had boiled. So I had cooked shrimp in a bucket. So hundreds and hundreds of cherry shrimp, or not cherry shrimp, crystal shrimp, my line bred crystal shrimp that I've been breeding for a really long time. They were all cooked in a bucket. And I almost considered eating one just out of anger, just being mad about the whole situation, but it just seemed like the stupidest YouTube video to make. And I hope that people that watch this and watch my channel and stuff know that I'm not the clickbait. I'm not the clickbait guy. I try to make things that are informational or entertaining. So that's just kind of that's kind of my jam. It's kind of my thing. Kind of is just trying to do that instead of just clickbait, oh, my shrimp died, so I ate one. I don't know. Somebody else could do that video, though. But I am happy to say I finally have crystal shrimp in my fish room right now. And I did take a good, I would say between 9 and 12 minutes today of this morning, staring at the little spotted pinto crystal shrimp I got out there. They're really nice, and I just stared at them and watched them do their little munchy thing, and that was pretty cool. I do have some new art that we are working on, and I did post some of that into. Let me see if I can't bring in one of them in here. So we need media files. That's what we need. Media files. Media files. Why won't you refresh? Oh, there we go. Here we go. So I was working on some art for the channel. And I don't know if we're going to brand this or not, which means am I going to put it on a hat or not, or any of that kind of stuff? I don't know. God, we got to enable, we need color, layout, effects. None, transition, shape, layout. Where's the shadow? There's got to be a shadow around here somewhere, right? What? Where's the shadow? Aspect ratio, lock position. We don't want that. Let's move this thing around a little bit. Let's make it spin. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so flat. It's so flat. Let's turn it around the other way. So I get a shrimp. I get a shrimp butt. I get a shrimp butt in my face. That'll be fun. Yeah, I don't know where the shadow went. I know there's a shadow effect, but I don't know where it went. That's just shape and file and transition. I don't know. Maybe the arrow will tell us. Let's turn the arrow on, and then this thing has a shadow on it. Maybe it's just automatic because the arrow is so cool. Yeah, it must be. Must just be because of that. Must just because the arrow's cool. Look at that. It's got that cool shadow effect. Let's put it over here. That's not as good. It's better if we go like this. Bah! Yeah, okay, I like it. All right, turn the arrow off. Sorry, guys. It got weird there for a second. But there's some of the shrimp art we're working on. I got some reds and others and things going on in the works. I don't know if I'm ever going to brand it for swag or not, but it's in the thought process. It's in the thought process of like how that's going to happen. And we got Kobe from Aquarium Co-op has upgraded membership to the producer level, which that puts him at the top. So if he's all the way at the top at the producer level, you got to watch out, because now he could karate smash anybody because he's got the producer badge. So watch out for that. Thank you, Corey, for going all the way up to the producer level on the membership. But you guys can change that if you want. It's not a requirement. Everybody gets pretty much the same benefits or whatnot, except for people with the producer credit on Patreon. You are able to basically request a specific video once a month. Secret History is asking, what amazing software am I using? The software I use is called XSplit Live, and it costs money. So some people use OBS, and I am not a big fan personally of OBS. So I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know why. It's probably the same reason why I'm like, don't use Sony cameras. I'm not saying don't use Sony cameras. I'm like, use Pentax, use Olympus, use Sony, use maybe Nikon. I don't know. Use Canon. Use whatever camera works for you, that works the best, and you know where the buttons are, and you know how to get your ISO correct and your exposure correct and your focus correct. Hey, I'm no schnob. I'm a schnob when it comes down to man, that looks good. So, but I use XSplit. I have to pay for it. I have no idea how much it is. I get a bill once a year. That seems like a lot, but it's not really that much. Probably, I think it was like $160 for a year or something like that. So it's not that bad when you break it down by month and all that. Does it work great? It works pretty good. I wouldn't say that it's the best, though. The best is probably, I can't remember the name of it now. Well, that's a brain fart. There's a really good one out there that works way better than XSplit, though. Let's see. Let's go to the chat. Jerry X was shrimp staring today. So cool. They're breeding like crazy. That is great to hear. I love to hear it when people got their shrimp breeding and stuff like that. That's, realistically, the tiny, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for here? So, decorative freshwater shrimp are probably my favorite thing, because tiny doesn't necessarily make sense, because I like bamboo shrimps, Amano shrimps. Freshwater, ornamental. That's the word I was looking for. Ornamental shrimp are just kind of one of my favorite things around. These two things being plants, ornamental shrimp, they're kind of my favorite thing. I wish that there were shrimp that lived out on the land so that I could combine the two out on the land, but I don't know how that would work, and it doesn't make a lot of sense that anybody would even manage to somehow put that together, even if they did, because shrimps crawling around on the ground just sounds like the beetles or something. You know what I mean? It would freak people out. But yeah, I mean, ornamental shrimp, ornamental freshwater shrimp. I mean, I'm happy with saltwater shrimp too. I do have a reef tank, for those of you that don't know. I do love my saltwater stuff, but today I literally just had one of those moments where I was like, my reef tank is giving me a migraine right now, and I don't even want to see it I don't even want to see its face. Because something's going on, and my skimmer has decided to start overflowing and driving me up the wall. Apparently, my skimmer needs to break in again. Basically, overflowed all of the skimmate back into the sump, so that's back into the system. And I'm kind of just like done with that tank. But I don't think I have the funds right now to order a tank to replace it and put right there. Even though I do have my little farm set up that I've been working on. That's probably... Anyone have any experience using granite in an aquarium? Yeah, I've used granite many, many, many years ago. It won't do anything to your water column if it is granite, indeed. I don't prefer the texture of granite these days. The many years scrubbing algae off of it and stuff like that. And just the color pattern doesn't bring me joy. Does this item bring you joy? I don't know. Maybe I shall organize my closet. So, yeah, I'm just not a huge fan at this juncture in time. I think I would think that I was living in Fremont when last time I used granite in a tank, I think. Sounds right. But no worries. No worries with granite. Dr. Black's got some granite, smashed up some big bits. They got pretty sharp edges that are a lot of work to get the edges blunt. Yeah. I think ultimately my favorite stone is the Sierra stone. I use that probably too frequently would be my guess. I probably use that like way too frequently. I don't even know. I don't have a link for it anymore. I used to have a link over here. I don't know where it went. But I got all mine from the, not all of it, but a lot of mine from the Aquarium Co-op. So if you're looking for pretty much the exact same rock I use, like in my, let's see, my 120 has Aquarium Co-op Sierra stone. So, yeah, if you're looking for that, you could get it there. Bentley Pascal, I need a decent rock yard to acquire larger amounts of lava rock. My tank is too big for the small stuff. Well, lucky for Bentley, there are a lot of good rock yards in Western Washington where we live. There are a lot of rock yards in Western Washington. It's surprising. As I go to other states and I'm like, hey man, where's your landscaping rock yard? And they're like, we don't have that. And then you like Google search it and you're like, there really isn't one here. That's weird. But there are a lot of them out here. I saw one that I really wanted to stop at on Thanksgiving. We were out by Arlington. We had to take this crazy detour up Highway 9 and like all around out Arlington to go to my aunt's house because there were traffic jams and crashes and stuff like that, which was nuts and irritating and irritatingly nuts and just dumb. But we drove right past a landscaping place, rock yard, that I really wanted to go into, and their gate was open, but I didn't think that they were actually open. And it, realistically probably would have kind of pissed off Vicky if I was like, let's go look at rocks. It being Thanksgiving and we were really hungry by that point. So it probably would have irritated myself if I had said to do that. Niels Hansen says, hey Joel, how are your Caradina shrimp doing? They are doing well. I am happy with how well they have converted from shipping to living in the tank. They're not giant yet, so we've got probably about a month and a half, 2 months before they're probably big enough to start doing some being buried with eggs and expecting baby shrimps. So it'll be a while. 54 Punchy says my rock yard is the McDonald's parking lot, which, yeah, I mean, that's Wyoming. But you're covered in snow now, so you can't buy anything anymore because it's just all snowy, so it doesn't matter. Joel, your shrimp art makes me wonder how good it would look if you did my fish. How would I find out how much I'd need to save up for this? I don't know, man. I wish I could like give people a hard number on doing something like some artwork. I will say this. I have raised my rates after some unfortunate interactions with people that wanted art, and then I made them art, and then whatnot happened, So I would say, first and foremost, if somebody was looking for art, specifically like a painting or something like that, 54 Punchy, the art of fish keeping, I would hit up her Patreon and see if she could make you something. Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, that guy makes art all the time, so maybe that's somebody. Right now, I would say that my rates are really high, and it is more often than not met with people being like irritated or angry or put off or whatever. So that's kind of what I would say to that whole situation. As far as like my pricing goes, if somebody wants me to do an art project, be aware the sticker shock will blow your mind. Justin Woody says, with art, it's always 5 times whatever people think it would cost. That's right. If you think it would cost about $1,000, it's probably 5 times that. Mainly because, I think mainly just because it's something that like you get abused and then you don't want to do it anymore. And then in order to get motivated to do it, you need something to motivate you to do it. But 54 Punchy does these amazing oil paintings, and I'm probably going to commission her at some point to do one. So I'm saving up my money, so I'm not, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to be like, I've got $5. Can you make me a painting? So I could at least approach her with a real number instead of, whatever. The reality is that like we all have bills, and, I'm kind of at the point now where like, I've got a baby, I've got a spouse, and I just don't really have a lot of time just to make paintings like this one back here. And this one was even in an art show and it didn't sell. I wonder how much I had this one up for. Let me see. Oh, it's stuck. Okay, it's super stuck. I was going to say, I think it's, a lot of them still have like price tags from art shows that they've been in, like stuck to the back. Just, I kind of like left them on there for old time's sake or memory's sake or whatever. I don't know. I have like lots of paintings and stuff that never sold at art shows. No one ever bought them, which would be a lot more, which I think realistically would have been a lot more affordable if people had showed up to those art shows. I've sold a ton of paintings over the years, but, just, I don't know, just really kind of went to be one of those things. Bentley says, if I can ever make a studio space, I'll go for a small hoard of art from folks as part of my background. Actually, I showed you guys some of those mandalas that I got made, and they'll be going on the back wall here, which actually was a friend of mine, Jody, who made those. They are fantastic. They're amazing, and we got them framed, and just so you guys know, it was $1,000. It was like $960 to get them framed, to get them professionally framed, professionally matted, to put the no glare covering on them so that you see how shiny this painting is. So I actually have to have the light going sideways, the camera going the other way, so that this glossy painting back here doesn't reflect too much in the background. So the reality is like, that kind of stuff, even just getting those framed was a lot of money, and those will be in the background, especially once I kind of moved the office around here, so it'll be better for interviews and that kind of stuff, which I think is going to be pretty cool once I get most of everything done. But you guys see when Alyssa's here, part of the background that's behind her is a bunch of the background that I've done a bunch of work on back there. All the shelves and all that kind of pipe work and that kind of stuff will be over here too, and back over there, and blah blah blah. But you know, all that kind of stuff just takes a bunch of time. Chad Krotz with a big old super chat. It's like, what color is that? It's like some kind of violet. It's like in between orange and red, but with some purple thrown in. It's like a violet or something. $50 super chat. Says Land Foraging Crystal Shrimp Research Fund. Oh, excuse me. And considering we probably got demonetized today, I'm going to vape during the show because we probably already got demonetized. And Chad Krotz already took care of. He multiplied it by like 10. So, you know. Just in case anybody out there is Vape Nash. I'm actually been stepping down on my nicotine, so it's actually going pretty well. Keeps me from... I haven't smoked any cigarettes since this baby has been born, so well over a year now. No smoking. So I haven't switched over to vaping, so working out pretty good. Smells like freaking blueberries in here, so it's kind of a good deal. Although I never smoked in the house anyhow, ever. Probably, really. Always went outside. So I guess maybe now it just smells like, instead of like my office, it smells like blueberries. But we do have some good news on the front of editing. Some people were, I forget who was asking early in the show, how is the Europe videos coming along? The Europe videos are coming along quite well with the Netherlands and stuff. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I spent all of my money to go to Vivarium. I pretty much spent more than I thought I was going to spend. It was not cheap, and I would love to turn around and just put out sort of kind of crappy YouTube videos. But to be brutally honest, I hope to get sponsored for that next year. So I'm really kind of polishing them as much as I can. And the only Black Friday deal that I got that wasn't, I got rocks and I got a new video card. I was not planning on getting a new video card. I put it on my credit card because the Radeon 7, for some reason, I don't know why, the Radeon 7 is an amazing video card, and it had gone on sale to like, so it's regularly like $799 or $699, and that's $700 or $800. And it had dropped all the way down to $399, so $400. So it was $300 off, and I had a $100 gift card to Amazon. So I put the $100 gift card on it. I basically got an insanely powerful video card, which I put that in this morning, and it has been running awesome. So I'm going to tell you this much. I was doing some video editing earlier today. There was no lag. Nothing slowed down. Everything. I was editing everything at 4K. So I'm really happy with having spent the $300. I'll make it back. I'll probably book some plumbing job or something and go to fix somebody's toilet or something. This last weekend, I was doing bamboo flooring, sheetrock, and electrical. So that's what I was doing this last weekend. So we'll book a job and pay that thing off, pay this video card off. But I've never seen it go below $700, and somebody pushed a button somewhere for Black Friday. And I was like, I'm going to order that because I've never seen that low. And I think, so my last video card was the GTX 580, I think, 480. I don't know. It was so old, and I just never had a chance to replace it. And considering that thing lasted 3 years, I'm hoping that this Radeon 7 will last another 3 years and space it out about $300 over 3 years. So that's like $100 a year. I think we can figure that out. It'll be fine. And like I said, I'm happy with how well it works, and we'll just continue on. Oh, someone's texting me. I'm blowing up, boy. So popular over here, guys. Got about 100 people watching, so it's a good time to check my text messages. Ooh, it's my mom. See, that's how popular I am. I'm so popular, my mom texts me. You know what I'm saying? There's like 100 people here. Let's answer a text from my mom. Oh, I can't tell you what that's about, though. That's a secret. That's a secret. Jessica Thiergartner's got to go. Well, you have a good day, too. Thank you for coming out and watching the first 50 minutes of the show. And we shall continue on ever forward. I can't remember what we were talking about. 54 Punchy's got the Amazon affiliate up there in the chat. I noticed that 54 Punchy has taken over for Candy Overhauls on my live stream, which, hey, I'm all for it. Two lovely ladies, both from the American West, the real West. See, I'm out here in the Northwest. They're out there in the real West, Montana and Wyoming. You know what I'm talking about. And so, hey, either one wants to handle the posting of that stuff. It just was a seamless transition. There was never even a conversation on my end. It just seems like like Pamela took over for Candy, and I feel like they must have had some kind of talk at some point in time. Which, I don't know. Secret History says that's a slick video card. Yes, it is. I'm very happy so far with its performance. We shall see over the next month if it does anything weird. Yeah, Big D Smoke says, yep, you got to take advantage of that when the opportunity arises. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Like, computer parts, sometimes they will just drop, like, way down in price, and I'll be like, no, that's kind of interesting that it came way down. And then I'll check on it, like, 2 days later, and it's like, oh, now it's twice as much as it was originally. That's bizarro. But, yeah, so, 54 Punchy says, she's quoting. Who is she quoting? Faith No More, a.k.a. Mike Patton, says, it's a dirty job, but someone's gotta do it. Whoa, whoa. I don't know if anybody knows, but Mike Patton's one of my heroes in life, and I appreciate that guy. He's a good dude, too, on top of it. Not only is he a good rock star, he's a good dude. And I like that. I like that when people's is good dudes. And ladies can be good dudes, too. It's okay. Well, we've got one producer now, you guys, which means one of our regular members has dropped off. Oh, no. It's so rude that, like, everything has a paywall now. Oh, well. That's life. I guess that's life. Everybody figured out we were sharing and doing the internets for free, and corporate entities figured it out. Nathan Kota says, what are your thoughts on the 12-gallon long tanks? I've got an Aquamax, but it's nearly identical to the Mr. Aqua. I like the Mr. Aqua. I like the Aquamax. I like those really long 12-gallon tanks. Those are super cool. I just never had a spot. I've never had a spot for 5 years now. 6 years. 7 years? I think 7 years. For one. I had one that was similar to that. I forget who made it. It was some kind of weird tank. I'm trying to remember. There's a blank there. I don't know. I had one that was either a Mr. Aqua or a very similar rimless tank that was a 12-gallon long. I really like those. I just never have anywhere to put it now. My current fish room, you guys, is a really small space. I was on a bit of a conference call earlier to talk about some of the possibility of a makerspace and some of the stuff with that, what that will entail, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And, if you guys happen to spin over to the Patreon, you guys will see that there's a makerspace. Like, we're trying to hit a goal on there to fund this makerspace. We're trying to have a public space that we'll be able to film in, set up fish tanks in, host, people from out of town. Let's say we got Chris Lukup from out of town and people wanted to come meet him in person and see him aquascape. We could not only do that, but we could also film there and get it out to the internet people. Because I think most internet people that are like, hey, what's the value to me? I'm somebody who's stuck in, let's say, Oklahoma, and you wouldn't be able to make it here necessarily in person, but we'd be able to film it and get it out to you, and through the power of the internet, you guys would be able to check it out too. Probably get some footage and that kind of stuff. I know that eventually I will build the makerspace at my house or property, which means it will not be a public space. That's a reality. There's a lot of people out there that did really well with YouTube and stuff, and we all kind of had an expectation that them building out a big fish room would mean more content and that kind of stuff. I'm here to say that I kind of make a lot of content already. If I wanted to have Corey come down and host some people from the area, like if I wanted to have Dennis, otherwise known as Big D Smoke, Ken, some of the other people, and have them in to do some kind of thing that we'd be able to film or whatever, right? I'm not going to have 20, 30, 40 people over to my house. But a commercial space would allow that to exist. It would be much easier just to have a security guy come down. And trust me, I have a friend that owns a security company, so it's not that big of a deal. But, have a security guy come down, have it be a commercial space that we have insurance for, all that kind of stuff, and be able to do that, film it. Also film some of the local people, like maybe you guys are going to ask questions, that kind of stuff. And try to do a thing that is sort of like, the kind of monthly club meeting or something like that, with whomever or whatever, where it wouldn't necessarily be possible for people to come in person. And we could also live stream and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Because I think one of the big things is like, if I go to, let's see, who was last at the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society. I don't remember what the last guest was, but I'll just stick with Corey since he went in on the producer credit today. So just stick with Corey. Let's say that Corey was a guest at the Greater Seattle Aquarium Society. There's about 100 seats in there, maybe. It's a small little auditorium. It's really nice. It's nice for a club meeting and everything. But like 100 people go to it. And I know that they film the presentation and that kind of stuff, but like, where's it really available to the average person? You don't normally get to just click onto YouTube and be able to see it, and see his talk or anything like that. Whereas if we were to have him, for instance, at the Makerspace, we could even not only do it live, but we could also do an edited version of it later and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the plan. Mike Kinseth says, I really like your fish room. Well, thank you. It's pretty small. I am reluctantly planning on making some changes to it, but I do need to get some different tanks in there and whatnot. So there are going to be some changes coming up, especially because slow season's going to be hitting here in January, February. So we'll figure out some of that stuff. The 12-gallon tanks. I can't remember the 12-gallon Mr. Aqua. I think it's 20, or I think it's 36 long, right? It's like 36 long. Man, I hate this keyboard. It's all got all these hotkeys on it for editing. It's not the smartest setup I have over here, but a bunch of stuff is set to hotkeys. Yeah, so it's 36 long. It's actually 35.8 inches long. It's 8.3 inches front to back, and then it's 9.5 inches tall. So it's really long, really skinny, low rectangle. I wanted to look that up and make sure I got that right. UNS makes one now, apparently. Aquamax is the other one that I know that's low iron. Mr. Aqua, of course, the UNS one is like $30 more. I don't know why, but let's see. Let's look it up here. These rimless aquariums are carefully crafted using 91% clarity diamond glass. A highly transparent, extra clear glass with very little residual green color. So it's low iron glass. Probably Starfire probably is realistically what it's called. German silicone. It's got the 45 degree precision cut mitered edges, which it's not so much the mitered edges, it's actually the polishing that you need to do on the 45 degree edges that actually makes it stronger. So that's good. I mean, it just looks like the UNS is a nice version of it. Okay. We're happy with that. Let's see what the Mr. Aqua one is. Is it rated as like, this is high iron content glass? Well, I guess it's not as clear, but I don't ever recall it being. Well, I guess Mr. Aqua makes one with low iron also. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Do they make a low iron long one like that? No, because they make a low iron 22 gallon, which this thing's $230. You're starting to get into like build it out of acrylic pricing at that point. Saying you could, I'm not saying you should drop anything down the stairs, but you pretty much could drop it down the stairs and it'll probably be fine. But yeah, $229 for the low iron 22 gallon, the 22 long, which I think is probably. That's the 22 gallon is probably the best dimension one that they sell realistically, because that's right in line with the that's right in line with if you were going to do a competition tank. I think is 22 gallons. I don't know. I've never. No, scratch that. I'm not going to say that I never submitted, but I have. It's been so long since I really even thought about submitting to a competition with the photos and all that. Time to head home and watch the Hawks. I'll watch the replay tomorrow. Well, thank you, Justin. We have the Seahawks game is tonight, which is good. My spouse is going to leave me here with the baby, as always, on Mondays. So we'll be hanging out here, eating dinner, watching the Seahawks, hopefully. Not sure. Nathan Alexander needs help setting up a fish room. Any takers? I love helping people set up fish rooms, you know, but it depends on where you are and how far it is. And how do we know? How do we know if it's safe? Oh, I forgot. There is a level at on Patreon that I will come help set up your fish room. Where is that? I've forgotten. Let me see. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Independently wealthy investor. I went with the maximum amount that Patreon will let you do at $15,000 a month. I'll come to your place and personally help you. Some people say you can't be bought and sold, but for 15 grand, I'll come out and help you set up your fish room. Now, the whole reason I even put that on there was because it was like, what's the maximum that this thing can go to? And apparently it's 15 grand is the highest that Patreon will even let you put in there, which I still think is funny. Let's go over to the dashboard here. Oh, we went up in subscribers, then we went back down. That's life. You go live, man, people freak out, and they're like, I don't like you no more. Oops, that's Discord. And where'd my chat go? There we go. Ken says we need to have a donut swap meet here where we bring fish, plants, and other easy things to trade and barter in with regards to the hobby. Yeah, let's just do another donut meetup. Ken came to the donut meetup. We'll probably just do another donut meetup one of these days. I can't do it this weekend. I've got way too many things booked this weekend, but maybe the following weekend we could do a head out to Legendary Donut and get a giant donut. Those donuts are delicious, man. I had to take a break from the donuts, though. John Ward has to go run and fix dinner, which I need to go fix dinner, too, once I'm done here and get dinner ready. Which will be pretty easy. I got some stuff out for it already. You know, we're gonna have some sausage raviolis and a couple other things we got going. I pulled those out of the freezer to thaw. Secret History says for 15 grand, I'll make you a fish tank every month and take care of the old ones. Jerry wonders if I'll also cook dinner for 15K. Yeah. I literally put that in there as a joke because it was like, what's the top number that this thing will put in here? Because I'm obviously somebody like me that's on Patreon is like, I'm making content to try and help you guys out with your fish and your plants and all that kind of stuff. But there probably are some suspicious-ish type characters. I'm guessing it has to do with people that disrobe. If I had to wager a bet, if I had to bet, it probably has something to do with people disrobing at the 15K a month. But I will warn you, I will not disrobe for that. So there are limits. But I'll come help you set up your fish room for 15K a month, because then I'd be able to do the shipping container aquarium, which is the plan. Nathan says North Mississippi, undecided on a bunch of little or a few 55s, room 16 by 16 without windows. 16 by 16 that's a decent amount of space. You got a pretty good amount of space. I probably would do in that. So you got a run of in that space, in that size of a room, I would do one rack on one wall with a bunch of small tanks. And then I would probably do 5 120s. Since I already have 2 120s, I would order 3 more and do that size. But I got my 150, which is built by the same guy, and it's just about as cool. So maybe I'll order a 150 and put it right next to the 150 and then just go with that. I don't know. It's kind of a question. It's kind of a question. I'll have to go out and measure it if I have 60 inches or not. It might not be. I might not have space for that. So we'll figure it out. Aquarium Co-op says, got to make one of those donut meetups. Yes. You got to try and make one of those donut meetups because Legendary Donut is fantastic. It's unbelievable. Those donuts. There are people that talk about that donut place in Portland, and no, it's not the same at all. It's not even remotely the same. Zen Ginger says, will you set up a fish room in a robe? No, that is not safe. It's not safe to operate. You got to have the proper attire on. It's like you got to have proper attire, safety equipment. Got to be safe. And a robe is not safe. Things could get pinched or crimped or cut. You could cut your thumb off like I did, so don't do that. I don't recommend cutting your thumb off. It hurts a lot, and it feels like crap kind of forever. 54 Punchy says Voodoo Donuts. There you go. That's what it's called. Voodoo Donuts is not as good as Legendary. Legendary is better, honestly. Twins Reef is asking the Fluval 3.0 or the AI Prime. Well, the AI Prime is like 210, I think. 200 and... Oh, Premium Aquatics has one right now for 200. You know, realistically, I would say the Fluval 3.0 because you get a lot better coverage, control, and a better mix of LEDs versus the AI Prime. The AI Prime is a fine LED light, and I would be interested in trying some out, but let's say that I'm realistically not interested in spending. Let's say I wanted to do them on my 240, so that thing is 8 feet long, and each AI Prime is like about yay big and covers about this big of an area, so I would need 4 to 5 of those. So let's say I ordered 4 of them at $200. That's $800 plus sales tax, so about $900. So it'd be about $900 to test that out. I don't know. Whereas I do know for a fact that the Fluval 3.0s work. I have 4 of them on the 240, which is sort of excessive, but, you know, they're really controllable. So I like that. I don't know about the AI Primes or not, but if I had to pick one, I would pick the Fluval 3.0 because I have one Fluval 3.0 over 120-gallon tank, and that is plenty of light to grow almost every plant in there. It's not perfect for things like dwarf baby tears and stuff like that, but it will grow plants, especially in like if you put one Fluval 3.0 48-inch over a 75-gallon aquarium, you could pretty much grow anything in there that you wanted to, and it will cover the whole tank. So, ask Santa for a large man donut. What the hell? Yeah. Thanks, Pam. You got me to read that out loud. I didn't read the last part, though, out loud. But, if any adults read that, you'll understand. All right, let's see what else we got from the chat. But I think personally I would go with the Fluval 3.0s. They're waterproof. They're controllable. Yeah. UG Quantic says, Joel, what's your favorite donut? They have one there that's called the Homer Simpson. Seriously. Hold on. Legendary donut. Skip the hotkey. Dope. Let me see this thing. So there's like 4 or 5 locations now. I'm trying to remember menu. What do they call it, though? The Homer. Extra large raised glazed donut. So it's like this big. It's like as big as a Frisbee, and it's the raised glazed. Then they have... Where's the other one that I really liked? Little Red Riding Hood was really good. Blueberry Cake was really good. And the Oprah... Oprah's pretty good. But yeah, I'm sort of a classic guy. Like I don't like the stuff that's too out of too crazy, but I like the raised glazed. Those is kind of my favorite. That traditional one. If you can make that traditional one good, I bet the rest of your donuts are pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the old school cake donut though. But yeah. Kathy says she's not sure Pam should be a mod. Pam gets 100% my approval for being a mod. Yeah. I hope you guys know that Pam has been here for. Pam has been supporting this show and this channel for years and years, and yeah, she gets my vote. I'm loyal to a fault, probably, but who knows. This week has been lighting upgrade week for my current tanks, and ended up getting some new plants. And the pots of crypts that I picked up split in about 30 crypts for next to nothing. That's a win. That is a win. It's really nice to get in some overgrown pots when you get a chance. When you get that opportunity to get some new ones in. Oh my God, we got a new patron. Oh, freaking out. We got a new patron over on Patreon. The Nature Geek Show coming in on the Patreon. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't know if you guys could tell, I'm a little bit excited about people coming over on the Patreon. It's been rough go over on Patreon for a little while now. It's been slowly decreasing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I feel like love lift us up where shrimp belong. Do on the ocean side, on a mountain high. It's weird. No matter how close I get to the camera, the shrimp still stays the same. It's impossible to move that shrimp around. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. And it is a big time help. But yeah, back to Jen Raffaelli's posts about the crypts. It's always so awesome when you get, you're like $8.99. I'm gonna get this little pot over here, and you get one that's like really overgrown and it's got a lot of babies in it. You feel like you just totally won the lottery. You're like, I paid for the ticket. Turns out I hit the jackpot. I love that too. That brings a smile. It brings a smile to my heart, but it also brings a little tear because that means that little pot's been just waiting for a home for so long that it could be considered sad, Like some people could think it was sad. Oh my God, we only have one super chat today? Wow. But it was Chad Krotz just killing it at $50. Thank you, Chad. You guys Chad's always been like a big time supporter of the show, and I appreciate that, man. I really do. I feel like sometimes I forget people that have been supporting for a long time. I was looking at Patreon, and we have 248 current patrons right now, and we've had over 700, which means that like 450 have left or like stopped being a patron. And you're like, oh man, that's so depressing. And sometimes it almost makes you forget like how awesome it is that 250 people are supporting, So pardon me if sometimes I forget to say thanks to people, but or pardon me if I get like overly into saying thanks to people, because I love getting an opportunity to say thank you, Kathy says, I've listened to Pam's live. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I could hang out at Pam's house because we'd just be talking like sailors, you know what I mean? I keep it on the DL here, like the sailor talk to a minimum here, on the old on the live stream, just because people play this in workplaces or whatever, and if I'm like dropping crazy F-bombs or whatever, people are like, I can't listen to your show anymore. So I try to avoid the what is it, the FCC words that they don't want, the 7 words, Oh my God, we got a $2 super chat from Fisheye on Tank Ticks. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Jen says, Wendetti Eye red and green Lutea, 1 pot each, plus 2 random unknown crypt babies and something else that I have no idea what it is to make that many plants. I appreciate that. You know what's cool is that, you get that many extra plants. That just means it's time to get some new tanks. I mean, I don't have any association with anybody that makes tanks or anything like that. I mean, other than Jason Gregory. I love that guy. He builds beautiful tanks. I haven't been able to commission one in a while, but I'm almost thinking like the credit card's just going to take a ding here for a little while because I'm thinking I might want to make, I don't know. My thoughts are dumb sometimes. So I'm probably not going to do that. Zen Ginger says maybe Patreon went down because credit cards expire. It's not you, it's Visa. Yeah, that does happen sometimes. Like there are a lot of people that are like, oh man, my credit card expired. I didn't even realize. But there's a lot of people that have come and gone. Let me see. Somebody, let me see. I haven't gotten any. So most of the exit surveys are like, my financial situation changed. My financial situation's changed. Apologies for that. Like here, it's like, please don't take it personally. I love what you're doing. I'm still a huge fan. Unfortunately, life has been rough lately. And that's like the perfect example of like, people on the exit are just like, man, everything's just kind of rough right now. Sorry. So most people, it's been that, that's most of the thing is that like everybody has an ebb and flow where sometimes you're up and you're doing really good and you're like, hey, I could throw a couple bucks at this a month, hey, that's totally cool. And sometimes you're down and it's like, oh, that sucks too. But to me, it mostly sucks because I'm like, I want people to, oh man, I hope you get back on your feet. I'm not even worried about the $2 a month. It's all good. Like just get back on your feet, figure it out, and whatever you got to do to get through that. Because Lord knows I've lived in a van down by the river, or AKA a pickup truck under the overpass. So I know what it's like, man. Sometimes just nothing works out right, and you gotta make those big choices to get back on your feet, and sometimes that happens. Jerry X with a £5 super chat on the happy December. Ooh, it is. That's right. This is the first stream of December, so we should probably remember that because remember, the 2nd of December. Is Friday going to be the 5th? The 5th? No, that's Thursday. So we'll be back on the 6th, though, with Alyssa. We'll be talking about whatever we're talking about. But thank you, man. Thank you so much, Jerry, and Fisheye on Tactics, that's for sure. Joel G says, I have left Patreon for reasons, but I super chat instead, and I don't membership, as then I'd need to join like 10 of them to not offend people. All right. Well, I know Gillett. There's old Gillett out there who's like, he's out there in New Zealand. He's hanging out with Kiwis. He's hanging out with hobbits. He's doing weird stuff. So, hey, no hard feelings there, Gillott. I don't know how to say Gillett's last name. Is it Gillett or Gillott or Gillette? He's literally sent me voice clips on how to say it out loud, and I still don't know how to say it out loud. So, that's life sometimes, right? Because my brain's broken. Now, this is... Sorry, I'm going to stop looking at that. The exit interviews are pretty good. Most everybody's just super nice on there. Nathan Alexander with the $2 super chat. Oh my God, we got another patron! Oh my God. Nathan Alexander! $2 super chat. Thank you, man. I'm freaking out. I probably freaked somebody out with their headphones in. And Jennifer Raffaelli just became a Patreon. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. One of the cool things about becoming either a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon is that you will be able to acquire the link to our Discord, which is basically on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You're able to post up in there in any of the specific rooms and what you want to talk about. It's like a chat room that's set up for fish people that are on this channel. That's it. Those are the only people. You're either members on YouTube or you're on Patreon. Those are the people that are on there. There's no other people, like no random weirdos. It's not like Facebook, but you can post pictures. You can chat real time. It's like an IRC chat. It's very nice to be able to go back and forth. We have a general. There's a bunch of rooms on there, like the Project Corner. Frank Factor posted in there yesterday a bunch of pictures of him working on his 140-gallon aquarium. He had to get a whole new top for it and put a whole new top on it for his turtles. So that's like a perfect example. Tank review is where I take the pictures and sometimes do fish tank review type videos where I view the fans' fish tanks when I have enough of them saved up. Then I'll go and do a fish tank, review some of your guys' tanks and post them up onto a YouTube video. Like Preston John posted in there, the tank placement 101. Don't put more than one pleco in a tank on the top row. Catching them is not fun. It's a perfect example of some of the stuff going on over there. So you can always check out the Discord. So people are like, oh man, the live show's over, but you wanted to ask me a question and you didn't get a chance to ask me a question, or it's virtually impossible for us to go back and forth and kind of figure out what's going on with your aquarium or some plants or some fish or some shrimp or something. Then Discord is the spot to be at if you want to kind of go back and forth. And now, of course, I've been talking about the Discord. A bunch of people are posting stuff into there. Why do I have... Oh, I got notifications from the direct messenger. I'll get to that later. There we go. So jump on Patreon and have access to the Discord, all for as little as $1 a month. That's right. You can start at a $1 a month and then work your way up. So Laura Morgan says, members and super chats and patrons, it's Christmas in early December. Yes, thank you very much, guys. We're moving into the new year. Got a lot of new projects coming in. Fish Room Fever became a brand new member on the channel. Thank you very much. And Nathan Alexander, going big with the super chats, man. He's like nonstop with the $2 super chats twice. That's unbelievable. Well, 3 times. Oh, my God. Oh! See, Nathan doesn't go with a $6 super chat. He goes with 3 $2 super chats, which is smart because you kind of make it rain a little bit. Then people will be like, Nathan, what's Nathan doing? Nathan Alexander, what's he doing? What you doing? Very much appreciate it, Nathan. So thank you. Zen Ginger says, I love the Discord. Got my snail question answered randomly at like 10 a.m. in the middle of tank maintenance. Very handy. Yep. So that's kind of the thing. We have like just a close-knit group over there. It's like being in the group of I don't know how many people are over there now. Like 130 people over there on the Discord. So it's just if I don't know what's going on, somebody else there is going to know what's going on because it's mostly people that are just like way into fish tanks, kind of knowing what's going on and can give you a heads up on like what you could do or what you couldn't do, or at the very least ask you some questions and maybe request a photo of what it is that you're talking about. It's kind of it's a little bit weird to try and like diagnose something on YouTube when YouTube isn't it's not conducive for like a back and forth or getting, an image of what it is that you're talking about. Whereas, on Discord, we can do that. We could be like, oh, what do you mean? Like your fish is doing what? And you're like, oh, let me take a picture of this, or let me take a little short video of this and I can post that up. Whoa. We got a $10 super chat from Anna Lee. Thank you very much. Says, for what you do for us. Aloha. Well, aloha to you. Although I am noticing that it is 4:30 my local time, which means I got to start getting ready for the arrival of my lovely lady and my other lovely lady, the baby. I want to give a big shout out to Aquarium Co-op for becoming a producer, all the way up at the member level, upgraded to producer. Thank you, brother. Chad Krotz, a $50 super chat. That is wild. Fisheye on Tanktix, Jerry X, Nathan Alexander, Fishroom Fever, Nathan, and Annalie on, wow, a $10 super chat. Man, that's kind of crazy. We have at least gone higher than our typical $4 revenue on a video, all the way up into, I don't know, that's math, but we're way over the $4 that we would normally make from doing a show. So thank you very much for that, guys. It kind of makes a Monday a little more worthwhile. But we got some good stuff in the works. We got some good things going on, and I have no idea where my thing is. So there's my thing right there, and there's the button on the thingy. So we got about 1 minute left. Big D Smoke says, I miss my Team No Sleep buddy, though. Oh, don't you worry about that. Team No Sleep buddy is around. I saw him in the chat earlier. Big D Barbara says, thanks for the live stream. I'll try to check out the Discord soon. Yeah, no worries. We'd like people to be on there, but if you don't want to be on there, you don't have to. Fishroom Fever says, I needed the icon. Yeah, everybody you gotta have that member icon, and if you got the one that's a kind of a good looking ish rendering of me, that means you've been around long enough to have the good rendering of me as your badge. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Anyhow, thank you everybody for coming out today. I'm going to get rocking and rolling and head on down the road